a heavyweight bout. This is another one, man. This is another
Exactly.
weird line
Yep.
that I just can't even begin to understand it. Lukasz Brzeski, I think that's how you say it. Lucas something. Plus 185 against the debuting Karl Williams, minus 185. Over under 2.5 rounds, minus 110 for the over, plus 110 for the under. I'll let you go first, but I just can't understand this at all.
Karl Williams, a guy who's not going to go out there and knock you out. He's probably not even going to go out there and submit you. He's an American top team guy. And I don't want to, bash the top team guys because they got a lot of killers in their camp, but you
Hey,
see a lot of
it's
heavier
American
wrestlers.
top team Atlanta, not
Yeah,
true
Atlanta. So it's
American
not
top.
yeah. So, but coming out of their camps, you see a lot of wrestlers who like to win by decision. They don't have, these crazy performances that they're going out there and finishing dude fast or just looking for these finishes on the ground. They're more technical with their, they want to wrestle. They all seem to come from wrestling backgrounds. And I don't think it's going to be any different for Karl Williams here. But Lucas, has that finishing ability. He's got a couple, I think 5 knockouts on his record, 2 submissions. And in his UFC debut against Martin Budai, he arguably won that fight. Budai's tough, was taking his shots, was hitting Lucas too. And Lucas showed that he has a pretty decent chin as well. I just think Lucas has more ways to win here. Like if Karl Williams wins, it's going to probably be by decision. And in that 3-round span, if he can't get it down, there's going to be times when Brzeski has a chance to knock him out or finish the fight in one way or the other. So yeah, I'm a little confused on the UFC debuter being this big of a favorite here too. I think you'll probably see money start to come in on Lucas as the week goes on. I really do, just because you look at him in there, he hits pretty damn hard. He's a pretty good boxer, and against Budai, 3 rounds at that weight class, he wasn't exactly hands on his knees gasping for air. Like he had a little bit left in those later rounds. So, and who's to say, is Karl Williams UFC debut under the bright lights on the big stage? If this thing goes into the 3rd round and he's been wrestling the whole, round 1 and round 2, how much is he going to have less in the tank? So, makes it interesting. It's another one, man. If it gets in the 3rd round, you might want to be holding that underdog ticket here, especially with the styles. So, for my pick, I'm gonna lean with Lukasz Brzeski here over Karl Williams. Could get dicey and interesting, but I've seen more I like out of Lucas than Karl.
Yeah. Yeah. This one is just crazy to me. I really cannot believe it. Karl Williams. I watched Karl Williams take on Jimmy Lawson in the Contender Series last year. And Jimmy Lawson was this Penn State wrestler who came in as the favorite against Karl Williams.
Big dude, right?
Yeah, I mean he's a
Like
thick
short
dude.
and stout, like really
6 foot. It's every bit of 265.
just gassed out.
Super strong dude. And then a lot of people were on him like first round KO. Came in as the favorite against Karl Williams. Karl Williams, the underdog, gets the win via unanimous decision. Landed a total of 24 significant strikes in a win. Jimmy Lawson landed one significant strike, and Karl Williams had 10 minutes, almost 11 minutes of control time. So basically out wrestled the wrestler. But if you watch that fight, man, like it wasn't like he was pulling off these crazy, grappling exchanges where he was just levels above Jimmy Lawson. No, it was just he gets the takedown, and Jimmy Lawson was lost on his back. He couldn't do anything off his back. And yeah, definitely gassed out after that first round. It was probably one of the easiest heavyweights fights I've ever seen for a guy on the Contender Series to get a win. He gets the contract, though, because he's 33 years old.
Right.
And it's kind of do or die for him. And I'm thinking, I am fading the shit out of this guy in his debut because there's no way this guy should be in the UFC. Like, I just watched him beat a guy who I hate to like bash on guys, but that guy, Jimmy Lawson, like they should take away his wrestling credentials after watching that fight. But then you look at Lukasz Brzeski gets a submission win in the 3rd round on his Contender Series fight, and then it gets ruled a no contest because of some kind of substance that was found in him. Which, if you're going to bet on a guy, might want to bet on the guy who's taking the subs.
Yeah.
So like, you're probably going to still keep your money if you win.
They're not going to take the money out of your account. So
no, they're not. So that's a thing to look at. But then he makes his debut against Budai, and like you said, arguably won that fight. I watched it back. I think he definitely won that fight. It was a split decision loss, but he was a plus 240 dog. And that fight was 50-50 fight, like straight up a 50-50 fight. And you look at the stats in that fight, Brzeski lands 118 significant strikes. This guy has an insane output for a heavyweight. 6.86 strikes landed per minute for a heavyweight. And he only gets hit 3.78. So, I mean, he's doubling up dudes. And in this fight, he could double up Karl Williams. Like, Karl Williams, watched a bit of his regional tape. He's got a good one, too. But, bro, like, the guys he's fighting are straight up cans. Like, the guy before Jimmy Lawson, Simon Marini, 9-8, 37-year-old who is now 9-9. And as a heavyweight, he was a light heavyweight, 5'10". Lukasz Brzeski is 6'4". Kyle Wright, 2-0, now 2-1, 27 years old. Bro, this line is just crazy. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe there's something throughout the week where I am like, maybe that makes sense why this is it. But Lukasz Brzeski hasn't been taken down in his Contender Series fight or his debut. So, I mean, he's got 100% takedown defense. And I think he could just double him up, put the pressure on him, and he wins this fight pretty easily. But then I see the plus – he was like plus 135 a day ago, and now he's plus 180. I'm like, how does this happen? He'll mix in the takedowns himself.
Right.
He's a pretty quick guy, too. He's got good cardio, good activity on the feet, quick, athletic, good activity. He's going to be getting some of my money this week. I can guarantee you that, especially heavyweights. We all know the variance in heavyweights. Like, there's a lot that could happen. And as the dog, love it. I love it.
Yeah, and what happens when Karl Williams gets touched up a little bit? Like, we've never seen him take shots from, a legit striker at the UFC level. So, I mean, how's he respond when he eats a big shot in that first round? Is he going to be hesitant to get close enough to get the takedowns? I mean, there's so many unknowns, and we've just seen more out of Lukasz here that, I'm confused why he's such a big underdog too, and I'm probably going to lay something on him here. He's going to be my pick in this one as well. Let's go for it.
It's my pick too.